Hello and welcome to the seventh episode of Quality Quant Questions. In this week, we'll be tackling questions based on ratios. Let's get to them straight away. Can contains a solution of two liquids A and B in the proportion 7:5. When 9 liters of the solution is drawn out, the can is filled with B. The proportion of A and B in the final mixture becomes 7:9. How many liters of liquid A was there in the can initially? Now you can make the hero of your storyline either A, or you can make the hero of your storyline either B, and you can solve it via equations, you can solve it via allegations, all different ideas are present. So first I will solve it via equations and keep hero of the storyline as A. Let total solution be total solution be 12. So now when you've taken out 9 liters, how much of A would be left? A left would be 7 by 12. See, when you're taking something out of the solution, you're not really uh, impacting it in such a manner that the proportion of the constituents changes. So it will remain 7 by 12 of 12x minus 9. This is the value of A left. This is the liquid A quantity left out of a total quantity of 12x. And this leads us to the proportion of A in the total solution. This is possible. You can make your equation this way. Another way you can create your equation is if we do 7 by 12 of 12x minus 9 and 5 by 12 of 12x minus 9 plus 9, which leads us to 7 by 9. Here I am doing A to total solution. Here I am doing A to B. The value of the volume of A left, volume of B there, volume of B in the liquid that is left behind in the container, it is going to be 5 by 12 of that. And from that, and in that, we are adding back 9 liters of B. We can solve the second set of equations or the first set of equations. Hopefully, visibly, you can see the first set or the representation on the left hand side is easier to manage. So I will stick to it. This will give me 7 and 7 cancelled. This 12 will come down here. It will give me 144, which upon cancelling with 16 will give me 9. So I go over 12x minus 9 is equal to 9x, or 3x is equal to 9, or x is equal to 3. If x is equal to 3, total solution will be 36 liters initially. Total solution will be 36 liters initially. And out of this 36 liter, A and B are in the ratio 7:5. So it will be 21 and 50. So in order to answer the question, how many liters of liquid A was there in the can initially? The answer will of course be 21 liters. This is the equation-based way of solving. The other way, of course, let's say because we have already identified B, because we have already written an expression for quantity of B, we can also do this 5 by 12 types of 12x minus 9 plus 9 whole thing divided by 12x is equal to 9 by 16. This is volume of B divided by total volume. Then we get to our equation. You can solve it every time. You will get the same value of x. X will be 3. This is the equation way of solving. The other way of solving is using allegations. In allegations, A in the first storyline or in the first solution is 7 by 12. In the second solution, because it is entirely B, is 0. When we add them up, we get to 7 by 16. And this is difficult to pull off because it is in fractions. So what we do is, we make the denominators identical everywhere. Let's make the denominators 48 everywhere. So it will turn to 28 by 48, 0 by 48, and 21 by 48, which will give us difference as 7, 21. The ratio will be 3:1. This one has been told to us as 9 liters. 1 unit is 9 liters. So this 3 units would be 27 liters. Now this 27 liters was obtained after 9 liters had been drawn out. So our final solution that we are creating, this is 36 liters. The initial volume and the final volume hasn't really changed. So if the total volume was 36 liters, A was 7 by 12 of 36 liters, which leads us to 21 liters. Now, when you're doing allegations, then when you're dealing with A, this is what we would do. If we were dealing with B, then see how our storyline would change. B here is 5 by 12, here it is 9 by 16, and here it is 1, because the entirety of the new liquid that comes in is B. Again, we change the denominators. This will become 20, this will become 48, and this will become 27. Now see gap wise again. This will be 21. This will be 7. The ratio is 3:1. This 1 liter is told to us as 9 liters. So this 3 will be 27 liters. Or the final volume that we have is 36 liters. Once I have 36 liters, I can again get to the how many liters of liquid A was there in the can initially. It will be optional. Multiple ways to reach the answer. Just that whatever strikes you first. Most likely, I would go down the path of the first equation that was framed, which was simply 7 by 12 of 12x minus 9 by 12x is equal to 7 by 60. This is my preferred route, because in this I know 7 and 7 will cancel off, and the equation or the solving thereon is far simpler too. Okay, next question. The pressure of a gas is directly proportional to its temperature and inversely proportional to its volume. So pressure of a gas is equal to some constant of proportionality and temperature and volume. The initial pressure, volume and temperature are 150 pascals, 20 cubic meter and 100 degree Kelvin respectively. So I told pressure is 150 A times of 100 by 20. Here I will also pay attention to the units used. Hopefully the units in the second iteration or whatever I'm trying to solve later on remain identical, because if they don't, I would have to take care of it. Okay. Right now this becomes 5, or constant of proportionality is 30. Constant of proportionality is 30. Now find the final temperature and the final volume and pressure of the same gas are 8 cubic meters and 150 pascals respectively under the same conditions. Okay. Now 150 is equal to 30 into the temperature that we're trying to find divided by volume, which is 8. So cancel and cancel, we get 5. Now the final temperature is 40. And of course, it has to be in the same unit that was used earlier. So it will be 40 degree Kelvin. This is an idea related to direct proportionality, inverse proportionality. This is key. In fact, after reading through the entire question, I'm also seeing this wonderful thing. I could have entirely ignored the pressure working. I could have entirely ignored the pressure working for the simple reason that it is constant. See what is happening, because pressure of the gas is directly proportional to temperature and inversely proportional to its volume. Can I directly say that T and V are directly proportional? T and V are directly proportional because this is constant. This is constant. So V is equal to some constant M into V. They are directly proportional. So if it has come down to 40%, if the volume has gone down to 40%, the temperature will also go down to 40%. 40% of 100 is 40 degree Kelvin. You have directly reached the answer there. But then it is very rare when you have 3 factors mentioned and one of those factors remains constant in the question. So Keep that in mind. Even if you did not notice it, that would be fine. Next question now. Total expenses of a boarding house are partly fixed and partly varying linearly with the number of boarders. The average expenses per boarder is 700 when there are 25 boarders and 600 when there are 50 boarders. What is the average expense per boarder when there are 100 boarders? Now, one way of solving this is very equation heavy. Let's look at that. Let the fixed cost, the F, variable cost, E, B. So when there are 25 boarders, F plus 25V is equal to 700 into 25, which is 1750. And when 600, when there are 50 boarders, 600 into 50 is 3000. There the equation is F plus 50V. So now we have simultaneous equations framed. We have 25V equal to 250, or V is equal to 50. Variable cost per boarder is 50. So what will be the average? Now, because variable cost is 50, we can also say fixed cost is 1750 minus 1250, or fixed cost is 500. So when there are 100 boarders, total cost will be equal to 500 plus 50 into 100, which adds up to 5500. But remember, they have not asked us total cost, they have asked us average expense per boarder, which will be 500 plus, I done it correctly, 700 into 5, 25, will be 17500, and then 600 into 50 will be 30,000, so it will be 1,200, 12,500. Table cost will be 500. This will be 500. So we'll have 50,500. Or no, messed up the maths terribly. So because the variable cost is B equal to 500, the fixed cost now will be 5,000. Will not be 500, it will be 5,000. Now, total cost will be total cost for 100 bits. Be 5,000 plus 500 into 100, or the total cost will be 55,000. But they are not asking me for total cost, they are asking me for average expense per boarder, which will be given by 55,000 divided by 100. Or the answer will be option A. Now, this is the equation based way of solving this, and there is nothing wrong with it, just that it is slightly long. The smarter way or the more accomplished way of handling this is knowing that the fixed cost will remain the fixed cost. Can I say boarders average cost or total cost? Just list it out. 25 people here. Here I have 17,500. Sorry, average cost is 700, and for 50 boarders, the average cost is 600, and for 100 boarders, we have to figure out the average cost. Now see, the total cost when we had 25 boarders was 17,500. The total cost when we had 50 boarders was 30,000. Now from the first situation to the second situation, the fixed cost has remained the same. From the first situation to the second situation, the fixed cost has remained the same. The increment in boarders of 25, has led to an increase in total cost of 12,500. The increment in borders of 25 has led to total cost increasing by 12,500. Now, this increment will happen in a proportional fashion because the fixed cost will always remain the same. The increment is on account of variable cost, and variable cost changes proportionally to the number of borders. Because the increment in number of borders is 50, increment here should be 25,000. This is 25 and 10,500, and this has doubled. This will also double, or the total cost here will be 55,000, and therefore the average cost 55,000 by 100. The average cost in this instance will be 550. I prefer solving it this way because in the equations there is scope for making errors. Additionally, this is applicable for so many situations where if I don't have to identify or calculate the intermediate values, then I don't have to get into equation framing and solving for the intermediate expressions either. Next question now. A person buys some apples and mangoes from the market. Cost price of mango is twice that of apple. Selling price of mango is twice that of an apple. By selling an apple at twice its cost price, he makes 150% profit on the whole. Find the ratio of number of mangoes to that of apples that he bought from the market. Okay. So I have lots of storylines to take care of. Apples, mangoes. I have CP, SP. I have quantity. CP, I told cost price of mango is twice that of an apple. So if apple's cost price is X, mango's cost price is 2X. Then selling price of mango is twice that of an apple. Let's say this is Y, this is 3Y. Okay. By selling an apple at twice its cost price, is selling an apple at twice its cost price, which means we are saying the selling price here becomes 2X. Because it becomes 2X, selling price here becomes 6X, price of that. He makes 150 profit only. Now quantity I am taking, the ratio, the quantity I am taking A and B. Now 150 profit on the whole, 150% profit on the whole basically means profit by CP should be equal to 3 by 2. Now what is the profit earned here? Per apple the profit earned is X, but overall profit earned is AX. Overall profit earned is AX. Here, what is the profit earned per apple? Per apple, the profit earned is 4X, but overall profit earned is 4BX. This is the total profit. And full thing divided by total cost. Cost here is AX. Here, cost is 2BX. This is told to us as 3 by 2. The best thing is I can get rid of x's everywhere from the left hand side. The x is no longer in consideration. And now I will necessarily get a ratio of A and B. Let me go ahead and place that down. 2A plus 8B is equal to 3A plus 6B, or A is equal to 2B, or A by B is equal to by 1. Now pay attention. I'm very happy that the question does not have an option of 2:1, because if there had been 2:1, let's say this option was 2:1, a lot of people would end up marking 2:1. But this is how they have kind of tried to trick us. See, find the ratio of the number of mangoes to that of apples. Mangoes to that of apples. So the final ratio we need is B by A, which should be 1 by 2. Therefore, the answer is of course option C. So the answer is of course option C. But if there had been an option of 2:1, I'm fairly confident some of the people might end up making a mistake there. So it's a good thing it's not there, and it forces us to go back and check. This is another advice. Whenever you arrive at an answer, whenever you think you've arrived at an answer, especially in ratio-based things, please go back and read the question again. Very often people end up making a mistake of not reading through the question appropriately and making an error. In fact, a similar error could perhaps be made here. If somebody has marked 36 liters here, what we have marked is the total volume of the solution presenting. But the question was only asking liters of liquid A. So hopefully we did not make that error. Next question now. The number of students in batch A and batch A and batch B were in the ratio 2:3 in January and 5:8 in February. Okay. The number of students in batch A and batch B increased from February to March at rates that were twice and thrice respectively of rates at which they increased from January to February. If the ratio of the total number of students in these two batches, ratio of total number of students in these two batches in February and January was 26:5. Find the ratio of number of students in batch A and batch B in March. Okay. Say in A, B, January, in February, and in March. Now see, and total. Wonderful thing is we are told this data point. The ratio of total number of students in these two batches in February and January was 26 and 5. So this is 26x. This is 5x. This 5x is wonderful because the number of students in batch A and batch B in January were in the ratio 2:3. If the total is 5x here, this can be 2x, this can be 3x. Additionally, in February, the ratio is 5:8. So it becomes 10x, it becomes 16x. Our life is very simple. Now, the fun part. The increase here is of 2x to 10x. The increase is of 5 times. It has increased by 5 times, but see the statement given. The number of students in batch A and batch B increased from February to March at rates that were twice. Right now, I'm only looking at A. It is at a rate of twice. So does it become 10 times? Does it become 100? No, it does not become 100. It does not become 10 times and 100x because, pay attention, they're saying the rate of increase is double. What is the rate of increase? The rate of increase is something you have to look at. The increase is of 8x on a base of 2x. The rate of increase is 400%. So the rate of increase here is 800%. So the number of students in March will be 90x. If something is increased by 800%, it becomes 9 times of the original size. Something is increased by 800%, it becomes 9 times of the original size. This becomes 90x. Similarly here, what is the increase? The increase is of 13 by 3. 13 by 3, so 1300 by 3%. The increase is of 1300 by 3%. I'm not getting into maths of it. But for B, we are also told later on at rates that were twice and thrice. If it is thrice of 1300 by 3, the increase here is of 1300%. If the increase is of 1300%, it is increasing to 14 times of its original size. 14 into 16, 224x. 224x. Finally, we were asked to find the ratio of number of students in batch A and batch B. So 90:224 is what we're seeking. 2 can be cancelled out. We get to 45:112, or option C is the right answer. Just this is a language-based question where you have to pay attention to increase from February to March at rates that were twice and thrice respectively. So we have to only focus on rates. Don't do 5 times, so 10 times, and this times 5 1 by 3 times. So next would be 32 by 3 times. That wouldn't make sense. Okay, going on. 1 year ago, ratio of Harsha's and Mandar's salary was 3:5. The ratio of their individual salaries last year in the present year are 2:3 and 4:5 respectively. If their combined salary for the present year is 86,000, find the present salary of Harsh. Okay. Wonderful thing I can do here is 1 year ago. So Harsha's and I'll take their salary as 300 and 500. So current year salary. No, the ratio of their individual salaries last year and present year. For Harsha, it is 2:3. 300 is 2 units. 3 units will be 450. And if 500 is 4 units, 5 units will be 625. Remember, these two numbers are in the ratio 4:5. These two numbers are in the ratio 2:3. So for current year, what we have got is 450 is to 625. This is not the simplest ratio. Let's simplify it. We get to 18 is to 25. The ratio of the salary is 18 is to 25. So now if I'm looking for present salary of Harsha, I have to do 18, 43, which is 18 plus 25, into 86,000. So cancel, I get 2,000, or 18 into 2,000 is 36,000, or option D is the right answer. Fairly straightforward. Next, the ratios of incomes and expenditures of Aishwarya, Babita, and Charu are 7:9, and 7:9:12, and 8:9:15, respectively. If Aishwarya saves 1/4 of her income, okay, Aishwarya saves 1/4 of her income, the ratio of their savings. So let's say income, expenses, and savings for Aishwarya, Babita, Charu. Here I have 7:9:12. Here I have 8:9:15. Now, funnily enough, we are told Aishwarya saves 1/4 of her income. If she is saving 1/4 of her income should be a multiple of 4. So first adjustment I do is I multiply all the income numbers with, I get 28, and I get 36, and I get 48. Now the savings would be 7. Savings would be 7 because 1/4 of her income she is able to save. So she has ended up spending what should be 21 units. Out of 28, if she is saving 7, what she has ended up spending is 21 units. It's 21, but 21 is not even here. It is told 8. So let us turn every number that we have. Let us turn this expressed number that we have, multiply it by, let's multiply it by 21. 8 into 21 will give me 168, and this will be 189, and this will be much. So how much? 15 into 21. So 315. Now if Aishwarya is saving 1/4 here, she's spending 3/4 here. She's spending 3/4 here. 3/4 is 168. 3/4 is 168. How much would total be, or how much would the savings be? Savings will be 56, 1/3 of this, or the total income generated will be 224. In order to get 28 to 224, I have to multiply everything by 8. Shouldn't have erased those numbers. Yeah. 36 into 8 will be 288. And 48 into 8 will be 390, 84. 384. So now I have the precise numbers that I need. This will be 384. This will be 288. So I have 56 here, 99 here, and I have 69 here. So the ratio will be 56 is to 99 is to 69, or option A will be the right answer. I'm fairly confident that this sort of processing is not we are accustomed. Basically, I was adjusting the numbers along the way so that I had to only deal with numbers, no ratios, no equations, nothing I had to solve. Most likely, people solve it in an equation fashion. We'll also tackle that. So, Aishwarya, Bhavya, and Charu, they have 7x, x, and 12x as what? Income. And then expenses are 8y, 9y, and 15y. So, 7x minus 8y by 7x is equal to 1 by 4. The savings using these terms be 7x minus 8y. Yeah. And this is 1/4. This will give us a ratio of x and y. We get 28x minus 32y is equal to 7x, or 21x is equal to 32y, or x by y is 32 by 21. Once we have reached this place, this is when we can perhaps jump out and go ahead and do 7 into 32 and y into 8 into 21. 7 into 32 would be how much? It would be 224, and 8 into 21 will be 168. 9 into 32 will be 288. 12 into 32 will be 384. And 9 into 21 will be 189. And 15 into 21 will be 315. And then we will get to the same savings numbers. We'll get to 56, we'll get to 99, and we'll get to 69. And we can still mark the same answer. And this is also perfectly acceptable way of doing it. No problem at all. It is just that I find dealing with numbers easier, and therefore adjustment utilizing only numbers is my preferred route. But this is also perfectly all right. The other way does not have any distinct advantages. Okay. The value of a diamond is directly proportional to the square of its weight. If a diamond weighing 4 kg breaks into 2 pieces, its total value decreases by 37.5%. The weights of the 2 pieces. I would expect you to be able to recognize 37.5% as 3 by 8. If it decreases by 3 by 8, it decreases to 5 by 8 of its original self. So these statements, these language-based cues have to be present. The value of a diamond is directly proportional to the square of its weight. So value is directly proportional to weight square. Value is equal to k square. Value is equal to, no, don't have to. This is the expression that we have. If a diamond weighing 4 kg breaks into 2 pieces, what would be the value of diamond weighing 4 kgs? Value of diamond weighing 4 kgs would be 16k. This is 16k. Now it has broken into 2 pieces and its value decreases by 37.5%. It has decreased by 3 by 8, or it has decreased by 6. It has gone down to 10k. And this 10k is obtained by value of part 1 plus value of part 2. Now value of part 1 would be k a square, where the first part it broke down into be a square. Part 2 will be k times of 4 minus a square is equal to 10k. So the constant of proportionality can go for a toss entirely. Two perfect squares are adding up to 10. Two perfect squares are adding up to 10. So you can see the only combination that fits is 1 and 3. 1 square and 3 square add up to 10. So that the weight of the two pieces that it has broken down into will be 3 kg and 1 kg. We can get to our answer this way. Okay. Next, then 3 brands of juices are mixed in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5, 4 is to 5 is to 6. The cost price of the two-piece mixture is, I'll remove it. The cost price of the two mixtures comes out to be rupees 20 per liter and 25 per liter respectively. Find the cost price of a liter of mixture of juices in which the 3 brands of original juices are mixed in the ratio 6 is to 7 is to 8. Okay. See, this is so much fun. Let the cost price of 3 brands of juices, let those 3 brands be A, B, and C. I have X, let the CP of A be X, let the CP of B be Y, let the CP of C be Z. So 3x plus 4y plus 5z divided by 12 was average price. This turns out to be 20. So this gives me the equation 3x plus 4y plus 5z is equal to 240. This is the first equation that we have. For the second one, we have 4x plus 5y 6z divided by much. So much divided by 15, of course, 15 units is equal to 25. From this we get 4x plus 5y plus 6z is equal to 375. Finally, what are we seeing? Speaking 6x plus 7y plus 8z divided by 21 is equal to, let's say, a variable k. Let's say a variable k. This is what we're seeking. So finally, what we need is 6x plus 7y plus 8z equal to 21 times of k. If we can get to a value of 6x plus 7y plus 8z, we can get to a value of 6x plus 7y plus 8z, then we divide it by 21, we'll get to an average price. Okay. Now, utilizing the first two equations, very simply, we can see two things. Wonderful. X plus y plus z is equal to 135. X plus y plus z is equal to 135. That is the case, I can go back to the first expression, break it down as 3x plus 3y plus 3z plus y plus 2z is equal to 240. This portion should be 3 into 135, which is 435. 435 plus y plus 2z equal to 240, or y plus 2z is equal to minus 195. Why this is useful for us is, look at the final expression that we need. Can I break it down as 6x plus 6y plus 6z plus y plus 2z. I can figure out this part and I can figure out this part. This has to be equal to 21k. 6 times of 135. 6 times of 135 is 3 times of 270. So 810. This is 810. And y plus 2z is minus 195. So I get 21k is equal to 615. 21k will be equal to 615, or k will be equal to 615 by 21. I can cancel out 3's. So this will come to 7. This will come to 0, 5. We done it correctly. 810. इससे 200 गया तो 610. It is correct. 435 minus 240. 400 में से 205 minus what I is 5 is correct because I am reaching an answer which is 29.2, which is not present in the options. So it makes me wonder if the maths that I've done so far is correct. Taking into 25, let me just check. 20 into 12 is 240, fine. 25 into 50 is 375. 375 minus 240 is 135. This is fine. X plus y. Basically, this minus this, and then x plus y plus z is 135. This is fine. 135 into this. 435 is wrong. This is where the error is crept in. 405. 405. 405. So this will not be minus 1, right? So yes. 400 minus 235. So minus 160. So 165. This will continue to be 810. So 810 minus 165, where would it give us? So first thing, 10 1. So 800 minus 150. 800 minus 150 is 650. Slowly, 810 minus 165. This gets me 0. This gets me, sorry, how is it getting to 0? 5. It gets me to 645. Okay. So now I have 645 is equal to 21k. Oof, I feel much better now. K will now be equal to 645 by 21. Cancel off the 3, this will be 7. This will become 215. So I'll get 30 whole 5 by 7. 30 whole 5 by 7 is roughly equal to 30.71. Therefore, among the available options, the correct one will be option A, 30.7. Next question now. See, this entire process takes up a lot of time, but this is how much work you have to do. This is how much writing you have to do in order to get to the answer here. Of course, if you don't make an error like me, it will perhaps be faster, but I made an error. I kept up. Next, the present ages of father and his son are in the ratio 9:4. The ratio of father's age after 8 years from now, his age of son 2 years ago, it is 8:3. Find the present age in years of the son. Okay. Father, son, current age is 9x, 4x, 8 years hence. Father's age will be 9x plus 8. 2 years ago, son's age will be x minus 2. We are told 9x plus 8 divided by 4x minus 2 is equal to 8 by 3. Some of us would be wondering, why have I written down this table? So much detail, because in age-based questions, very often it happens that if you don't create a table, then the equation forming that you do is flawed. So I always prefer to write down a table, even if it is a basic version. Always prefer to note it down in the form of a table. Then the likelihood of error subsides tremendously. Now this is simply an equation that we have to solve for. So 27x plus 24 is equal to 32x minus 16, or 5x is equal to 40, or x is equal to 8. So currently the age of the son is 32, age of the father is 72. 8 years hence his age will be 50. 2 years back his age is 3. So 8 is to 3 was the ratio. Fine. Everything is correct. Again, read the final thing. Find the present age in years of the son. Present age in years of the son is 52. Okay. Next question. Three friends A, B, C went for a picnic. A brought 5 apples and B brought 3 apples and C had 8 apples. They divided the apples equally among themselves, and C gave all his money to A and B for their contributions. What are the respective shares of A and B from the money? Okay. See, there are 8 apples. There are 8 apples. And all of them distributed the apples equally. So A had 2.66 apples. B had 2.66 apples. And C also had 2.66 apples. A had 2.66 apples. So he gave C 2.33 apples. B had 2.66 apples. He had brought his own 3. So he gave C 0.33 apples. Now 2.33 is to 0.33. The ratio is 7:1. In terms of the number of apples that they have given out, they have given to C. The ratio is 7:1. Because the ratio is 7:1, of the 80 rupees that C brings in, A will get 70 rupees, B will get 10 rupees. And the answer to the question is option B. This is one of the more common error-prone questions when people think A brought 5, B brought 3. So they should get 50 and 30. The ratio of the apples that they brought. Remember, the ratio of the apples that they brought is not the ratio in which they have given to C. This amount of money that they're getting is in compensation of the number of apples that they have given to C. A has given much more than B. A has given much more than B to C, and therefore A should be entitled to a much bigger share than B. Okay. Next question now. A bag contains 600 in the form of 1 rupee, 50 paise and 25 paise coins in the ratio of 3:4:12. Find the total value in rupees of 25 paise coin present in the bag. Another one of those standard questions, which if you record it right nicely, it will be very, very fun. See, B1, 50 paise, 55 paise. Value-wise, I don't know what it is, but total is 600. But number-wise, count-wise, I know this is 3x, this is 4x, this is 12x. So value-wise, 3x, this is 2x. You have 4x coins of 50 paise, you have 2x rupees. Or if you have 12x coins of 25 paise, you have 3x rupees divided by 4. Or now it becomes easier to handle. 8x is equal to 600, or x is equal to 75. Finally, they've asked me find the total value in rupees of the 25 paise coins present in the bag. X is 75. So value will be 3 into 75, or 225 rupees is present in the form of 25 paise coins. Please do not write the count of 25 paise coins. The question was not about count, it was the value of the 25 paise coins. Okay. Next. Next question. The telephone bill consists of a fixed monthly rent and a variable part that varies with the number of units of calls made per month. The monthly rents charged for a telephone connection in Bangalore, Patna are in the ratio 5:3. Okay. The bill amounts corresponding to 100 calls made from a phone in Patna and 300 calls made from a phone in Bangalore are respectively 511. Hopefully by now you have seen one wonderful thing has been tried to pull off in this question. The fixed cost is Bangalore and Patna, but when the bill amounts are mentioned, first Patna amount is mentioned, then Bangalore amount is mentioned. If you flip it, then it will be difficult to access. What is the difference in the fixed monthly rent of a telephone connection in Bangalore and the one in Patna if call rate per unit is same in both cities? Okay. So we have Bangalore, Patna, fixed cost is 5F and 3F, and variable cost is identical, is B. So for Patna, when they say 100 calls from Patna, 3F plus 100V is equal to 500. This is what we are told. And for 300 calls in Bangalore, 5F plus 300V is equal to 1100. Okay. We can get rid of the V's entirely. We can get rid of the V's entirely by multiplying the first equation by 3. We get 9F plus 300V is equal to 300. So V and V will get cancelled. I'm left with 4F is equal to 400, or F is equal to 100. If F is equal to 100. Now see, what is the difference in the fixed monthly rent of telephone connection in Bangalore and one in Patna? The difference is 2F. This is 5F, this is 3F. The difference is 2F. If F is equal to 100, the difference should be 200. Or option A will be the right answer. Okay. Next question. If A minus B is to B minus C is to C minus D is 1 is to 2 is to 3. What is the ratio of A plus D is to C? Okay. Now I see the result can be obtained here because these are all linear terms, these are all like terms. So how I'm going about doing it is, I'm assigning values directly. Assigning values. If D is 1, C should be 4. If D is 1, C should be 4. Then if C is 4, then B should be 6. So 6 minus 4 will give me 2. C minus D will give me 3. Now if B is 6, A should be 7. See, for these values, I will get the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. Life is simple. Stuff can be accomplished from here. Finally, they asked me, what is the ratio of A plus D is to C? A plus D is 7 and 1. C is 4. So 8 is to 4. Or the final ratio is 2 is to 1. For question 14, the answer is option B. Then again, I'm not certain if everyone would be able to see that because these are like terms, these are linear terms. We can solve it this way. Most likely they'll go down the path of processing. Not entirely sure what will be the utility of that, but we'll see. A is equal to 1 by 2. 2A is 2B is equal to B minus C. Okay. So 2A is equal to 3B minus C. Got this? Now, this one here have B minus C by C minus D is equal to 2 by 3. So 3B minus 3C is equal to 2C minus 2D. Okay. So we get 2D is equal to 5C minus 3B. Okay. So 2A I have, 2D I have. Can I go 2A plus 2D is equal to 6C? Because 3D and 3D will cancel, minus C and 5C. Oh, this is 4C. This is 4C, not 6C. This is 4C. Or A plus D is equal to 2C. Why I am focusing on A plus D is because finally I need the ratio of A plus D is to C. So I have 2C is to C, or the ratio will turn out to be 1. Suppose I would be happy then. But then solving the announced equation way was not needed. Because these are like terms, I can happily assume values and solve their own. Even then my answer would be accurate. Next. If A by 2 is equal to B by 3 is equal to C by 4, and that is equal to 2A minus 3B plus 5C by K, where A, B, C are not equal to 0, then K is. Now see, I don't care for what this expression is, but this, very quickly I can see, A is to B is to C is equal to 2 is to 3 is to 4. What this helps us achieve is, see, A by 2 is equal to B by 3 is equal to C by 4. All of this would have been identical. Forget the last term right now. All of this would have been identical. If A was equal to 2, the numerator and denominator are identical. B was equal to 3 and C was equal to 4. So I know A is to B is to C is 2 is to 3 is to 4. So utilizing that, I'm going ahead and writing it down. They are in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. So A is 2K, B is 3K, and C is 4K. So 2 into 2K, K, minus 3 into 3K, 9K, and is given here. Oh, I can't do K, no, because K is a variable given in the question. So 2M, 3M, 4M. So 4M minus 9M plus 20M divided by K is equal to 2M by 2. Cancel, cancel. Or I get 15M by K is equal to M. M cancelled. K has to be equal to 15. This is simply an identification of, do we recognize when ratios are given in differing formats, are we able to identify what is that precise ratio and do that relatively quickly. Next, two diaphragms partition a cylinder into 3 chambers whose volumes are in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 3. Okay. Pressure of a gas which is in joint variation with its mass and volume is directly proportional to mass and inversely proportional to volume. So pressure is equal to A times of mass by volume. This we can directly write. If the masses of the gas in the 3 chambers are same, which is saying mass has now become a constant. So pressure is equal to some constant divided by volume. Some constant divided by volume. Okay. If the masses of the gas in the 3 chambers are same, find the ratio of the pressures of the gases in the 3 chambers, taking them in the same order as the volumes have been taken. Assume that no other factors other than those mentioned play a role. Okay. This is essentially a theoretical question. If pressure into volume is equal to a constant, it means pressure and volume are in inverse ratio. If the ratio of volumes is 1 is to 2 is to 3, the ratio of pressure should be 1 by 1 is to 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3. And in order to simplify this, we get to multiplying it by the LCM. We get 6 is to 3 is to 2, or option C is the right answer here. This is a very, very long question for a very, very basic idea. But then you need to have a strong hold over conceptual understanding of ratio in order to arrive at the answer here reasonably quick. Next question. A quantity Q is obtained by adding three quantities. First is a constant. The second varies directly with the square root of y. And third varies directly with the cube root of y. Okay. So Q is equal to some constant plus a times of root y plus b times of cube root of y. This is given to us. When y is 1, Q is 60. So Q is equal to 60 is equal to C plus A plus B. Constant plus the coefficient, the constants of proportionality. When y is 64, Q is 230. 230 C plus square root of 64 is 8. Okay. And cube root of 64 is 2. So 4 over B. So from here, 7A plus 3B is equal to 170. 7A plus 3B is equal to 170. When y is 729, Q is 660. So when y is 729, we have 660 here. C plus square root of 729 is 27. 27A. And cube root is 9. 9B. These two we will get 19A plus 5B is equal to 430. We have these two equations available. We can solve for them now. No problem at all. We multiply the top equation by 5 and the bottom equation by 3. So I get 35A plus 15B is equal to 850. Here, multiply this by 3, I get 57A plus 15B is equal to 430 into 3 will get me to 1290. So I get 22A is equal to 40 or A is equal to 20. Once A is equal to 20, now you can go back to one of these earlier equations. This is 140 now. 140 plus 3B is 170 or B will be 10. A is 20, B is 10. So what will the constant be? Constant has to be 30. The answer to the question is 30. Next, the ratio of Muhammad's age to Ahmed's age to Muhammad's age is same as the ratio of the ages of the respective elder brothers. The ratio of the difference of the ages of Ahmed and Muhammad to that of difference of the ages of the respective brothers is 1:2. What is the ratio of the sum of ages of the respective brothers to the sum of ages of Ahmed and Muhammad? This is precisely the sort of storyline where if you don't record a table, you will perhaps get all lost. Let's say Ahmed and Muhammad. So age. I'm saying let this be X, let this be Y. The ratio of age of Ahmed's age to Muhammad's age is same as the ratio of the ages of the respective elder brothers. So Ahmed's bro and Muhammad's bro. Because the ratio is X is to Y, what I will do is I'll put it down as XK and YK. The ratio of the ages is identical now. Now, the ratio of difference of ages of Ahmed and Muhammad to that of the difference of ages of the respective brothers is 1:2. So X minus Y, difference of ages of Ahmed and Muhammad to the difference of ages of K minus YK is equal to 1/2. Equal to 1/2. From this, we can perhaps see what are we getting? x minus y in the numerator. K, if I take out common, I'm left with x minus y equal to 1 by 2. Can x and y be identical? Can x and y be identical? If x and y are identical, yes, life is chill. But in the event x and y are not identical, then I can get k is equal to 2. K is equal to 2. If k is equal to 2, Ahmed's brother's age is 2x and Mohammad's brother's age is 2x. Now, what is the ratio of sum of ages of the respective brothers? What is the ratio of sum of ages of the respective brothers? The sum of ages of Ahmed and Muhammad. This is 2y, sorry. Their summation is 2x plus 2y. Here I have x plus y. This is the sum of ages of the brothers. This is the sum of ages of Ahmed and Muhammad. So the ratio is simply 2 is to 1. Or option A is the answer. Here you can also utilize the fancy term of componendo, dividendo, invertendo, whatever. But as long as you follow the language trail appropriately, you should be able to arrive at your answer. Next question. There are two two-digit numbers. Their product equals the product of the numbers formed by reversing their digits. Which of the following holds true? The numbers are denoted by A, B, and C. The two numbers are A, B, and C. Their values are 10A plus B and 10C plus D. 10A plus B and 10C plus D. Now, which of the following holds true? Their product, the numbers, is equal the product of the numbers formed by reversing them. This is equal to 10B plus A to 10D plus C. Let's open up stuff. We get 100 AC plus 10 BC plus 10 AB plus BD is equal to 100 BD plus 10 BC plus 10 AD plus AC. Now 10 BC, 10 AD will get cancelled from the two sides. And we'll have 99 AC is equal to 99 BD. 99 will also get cancelled. Now see, A by B is equal to B by C. Or this is the storyline, this is the representation. When A, B, D, and C are in proportion, which is what option A gives. Again, this is very theoretical in nature. This is very theoretical in nature, but the processing is fairly straightforward. Okay, last question. A garrison of 900 soldiers had food stock sufficient for 30 days, when the rate of consumption is 2.5 kg per day per soldier. After some days of consumption at that rate, 300 soldiers were transferred to another garrison, and the balanced food lasted for 25 days for the remaining soldiers. Okay. If the rate of consumption of the remaining soldiers was 3 kg per day per soldier, after how many days from the start were the soldiers transferred? So see, storyline wise, what can we infer? We had, you can do it in terms of time and work idea. 900 soldiers, 30 days into 2.900 into 30 into 2.5 gives you the total quantity of food. Then for 600 soldiers for 25 days, 600 soldiers for 25 days at the rate of 3, how much food is left? So how much food was consumed? And then you divide it by 2.5, and then you get your total number of days from the beginning of the start. How many soldiers? 900 into 2.5, you can get your answer. But I don't want to do that because this is ratio, this is not time and work. How should we be looking at it? First is we have a garrison of 900 soldiers. So soldiers is 900. And we had number of days for which the stock was sufficient was 30 days. And the rate of consumption was 2.5 kg per day. Just try 2.5. This was our initial situation. After some days of consumption at that rate, 300 soldiers were transferred to another garrison. And the balanced food lasted for 25 days for the remaining soldiers. If the rate of consumption of the remaining soldiers was 3 kg per day per soldier, for how many days from the start were the soldiers transferred? See, after some time, what had happened was 900 soldiers were still there. They were still eating at 2.5 rate, but food left for them was for X days only, because some days are passed. Food left for them was X days only. Now, think of it this way. If right from the beginning we had been told, there was enough food for 600 people for 25 days, if they were eating at the rate of 3. There were enough food for 600 people for 25 days, if they had been eating at the rate of 3. If now the number of soldiers has become 900 and the rate of eating is 2.5 kg per day per soldier, for how many days will the food last? How would we go about doing the working? The original number of days. Number of soldiers have increased. So number of days should go down. It will become 600 by 900. Followed by the rate has increased. The rate has decreased. From 3 it has gone down to 2.5. So now the number of days that the food lasts should go up. 3 by 2.5. And this will give you how many days worth of food was remaining. First we get rid of this, we get rid of this. This becomes 6, this becomes 5. This and this cancels to give me 4. This and this cancels to give me 5. Or X turns out to be 20. See, initially we had stock for 900 soldiers for 30 days eating at the rate of 2. After some days, 300 people left. When 300 people left, at that time the state was 900 soldiers. For 900 soldiers, we had food that could last for 20 days if they continued eating at 2.5 kg per day per soldier. After this, some people left. So after how many days did people leave? After 10 days, soldiers were transferred. The answer to the question is 10 days. The alternate way, time and work related way is of course 900 into 40 into 2.5 minus 600 to 25 into 3 divided by 900 to 2.5. This will also get you to the answer. No problem at all. First thing I'm doing is getting rid of all the hundreds. Then I'm getting rid of 9 everywhere. This 9 goes, this 9 goes, this 6 becomes 2, 3 goes. And now I'm getting rid of 2.5. This goes, this becomes 10. So now I have 30 minus 20, which will be equal to 10. After 10 days, all these soldiers were transferred. They went away. And that is the end of the sheet. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully there were areas or recording styles or helpful tips given to you that enable you to solve questions effectively in future. It's fun.